Hello, Jasmine Rose here, tuning in for part 2 of my video series about the Shakti path. And in the last video, I was speaking about a client's experience with a very powerful Kundalini awakening. So I also had this experience sitting in meditation of a really powerful orgasmic energy. And I had absolutely no context for that kind of feeling in my body outside of, my sexuality. And because I had completely, put all of my faith and trust in my teachers at the time, and they never spoke of such a thing, I kind of, discounted that experience, put it aside. And it was really only several years later, after being through a series of traumatic experiences that I can now see were very powerful and essential initiations on my path, that perhaps I'll share about in another video. And after those experiences, I attended a yoga retreat and with a beloved teacher, and this practice was a very traditional practice, but that was very rooted in the mother. It was very devotional towards this Kundalini Shakti. And never in my teaching or practices are we trying to rise the Kundalini at all. The way that I approach this energy, and I feel like it's important to speak about this because I feel like collectively there's this Kundalini awakening happening, and it just really deserves a lot of respect. And the wind is blowing in confirmation, and I have tears in my eyes saying that, but she deserves and demands so much respect. She really is the feminine taking form as this, this serpent power, right? And the feminine does not want to be forced. She's been forced enough. So yes, she's been suppressed, but she's also been abused. She's been forced. And so the way that we relate to this energy in our body, this Kundalini Shakti, which whether you're male or female, we have this power within us, this power to awaken. And she has her own timeline, and we can really just show up and be respectful, and even more than respectful. I would say respectful is like the baseline, but reverent. And one of the ways that we can be reverent to her is to practice a lot of the practices that I teach in Shakti Yoga. It's about coming into the body. It's about honoring these natural movements, these natural currents, not forcing anything, surrendering and allowing, opening to her, trusting her. She's our own inner wisdom. She's an intelligence within us. And all the ways that we've tried to control the body, right? Whether it's through dieting and, intense exercise regimes and, whatever we do to our body to try to control it or get the body to be a certain way, is a dishonoring of this natural intelligence that is really just longing for us to listen, to be responsive, to trust and go with her. There's a practice in Shakti Yoga called letting Shakti lead, and that's exactly what we do. We're not trying to contort the body into specific shapes. We're not trying to, burn X number of calories. We're not trying to look a certain way. We're reverently turning towards her and being like, hey, I'm here. How do you want to move through me today? And because she is intelligent, she starts to move and we let her move us. She's also going to reveal our blockages, our contractions, our, emotional energetic density, that from the things that we haven't addressed, from the experiences we haven't digested or processed. She's going to help us move those things through our system so that we can actually be available for this force of power and to not be like completely destroyed by it, because she's a force. And sadly, because women have been cut off from anything below their waist or below their heart or perhaps even below their neck, right? There is this disconnect, which means trauma, shame, all of it gets pushed down into this, especially this region of the pelvic bowl, of our wombs, our womb space. If there's no uterus there, we have the womb space nonetheless. Which means that some of these spiritual practices that are all about like, let's, awaken, or let's rouse the Kundalini or whatever, can do damage because we're not integrated human beings. We haven't explored, welcomed, acknowledged our deeper feelings, our emotions, our trauma, our baggage, right? So grounding is everything. Everything that I teach in Shakti Yoga is about returning into the body, into the earth, finding our sacred ground, inhabiting our pelvic bowl, our womb, this incredible seat of power, of energy, of creative juice, of life force. This includes our sexual energy. So I feel like when I began speaking about Kundalini and this reverence that is required, I feel like she has literally taken over, and whatever else I had intended to share today has gone to the wayside, and I'm going to trust that, and I'm going to trust what's flowing through here. And I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear if you have any questions, if something has been sparked, if there's been any kind of little key revelations that have arisen within you, and if there's anything else that you'd like me to speak further on in one of the next videos. So I'm sending you all my love, and until the next installment.